Hey everyone, figured I'd get on here and show a little work in progress. It doesn't really look like much, but it feels like a lot. Um, I haven't been doing a lot of weaving or fiber stuff the past few weekends. I've been renovating an RV, and that's just taken up a lot of time. So um, I decided I'm going to redo my heddle pattern, and I'm setting this up for a blanket. This is the pattern I want to do, one of these, but this is a different setup here. So since I'm going through the trouble of threading my heddles, I decided to make these warp extenders. Now, I met an older gentleman off of Facebook Marketplace when I went to go buy a niddy noddy, and we were talking about weaving, and I told him about my loom, and I wanted to do something about the waist. And I was just like tying my new warp to my old warp, but it made these big knots. And so when it got to like this point here, there was still like a foot or two of waist. So he showed me these loops, and the loops that he showed me were a lot shorter than this, but I figured I'd make extra long loops so that they're long enough to come through the heddle here. And so like the reed is usually right about here, in this area, so that hopefully it'll help me out with less waste. And since it's a loop here, it'll be less of a knot. It'll be a knot, but like small enough that it should be able to slide through the heddles pretty decently. Also, what else? Oh, I had to redo these. I had gotten so far, this is the center, and I noticed I had threaded a few heddles. So since then, I had to pull them all out. I've been tying them as I go into little groups of 7. And yeah, this old loom is quite the beast. You have to like crawl under here. I'm like sitting over here above this thing here. I kind of feel like a contortionist sometimes when I'm fiddling around here and adjusting things, but I love this old loom. I'm so glad I have it. One of my goals is to make a blanket for a friend of mine. I've got let's see, I should have pulled it out, but I've got some warp, Shetland wool warp that I'm going to use for the blanket, and my friend's birthday is actually next week. And I was going to use my Cheviot wool that I've been processing, but I'm not really thrilled with the twist in there, and I think I want to do something a little bit more special. So I'm cheating, and I bought 6 pounds of this roving off of Etsy from a seller. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to take this roving and like split it in half, and then take that roving and just weave it as it is. Maybe add a little twist to it as I'm weaving it through the warp. And I think that'll be a nice, thick, soft, luxurious like blanket. I hope. In my head it seems cool. Sometimes the things in my head don't turn out as well in reality, but I'm feeling pretty good about that idea. One of the things that I also want to do this weekend, even though the blanket and getting everything set up is the priority, is the blanket, but I have my RV doors here that I need to paint, and I'm going to be doing a pattern on each of them. I've got a door for the bedroom and then the bathroom door, and I'm doing a kind of boho pattern, sort of a quilt square pattern on them. So that's going to take a little bit of time. And I also want to scour some more wool. I'm going to do some of the Romanov wool. I really like that stuff. So just to get it done, I'm not going to pick through it or card it. I just want to get it washed and dried. But I was dealing with a little bit of decision paralysis there for a while because I've got the RV that I'm renovating, and maybe I'll show that one of these days as well. But anyway, threading heddles is my main goal for this weekend and starting a blanket. So I still also have to measure out the warp for the blanket and split up the weft of that merino wool. So I'm also going to get my tattoo colored. And so I've got a lot going on. I'm trying not to feel overwhelmed. The other weekend, or was it a couple weekends ago, when I found the moths in my mohair stash, that just like gutted me. And I still, like, every once in a while I'll find like a little moth randomly in my house, and it's just driving me nuts. I did a pretty good job. I mean, there's not much in here, but every once in a while I'll find a little sucker, and I get so mad just thinking about it. But anyway, that kind of turned into a little bit of a rant. Sorry, I am feeling a little bit overwhelmed and a little bit just like exhausted. Like there's so much to do. But anyway, these are all decisions I've made. I've chosen to do this. I will get it done. Thanks for listening. All right, bye guys.